Welcome to Which Side Do You Want, where we talk all things tennis. I'm your co-host, Ruffin Thornton, and I'll be joined by my good friend, James Skinner.
Unlike most tennis podcasts, we cover hot topics, from the lawns to the concrete, from the pros to the park, and all things in between. Welcome to Which Side Do You Want?
All right. Welcome back, tennis and racket sport fans, to our podcast here at the wonderful studios of Another Wave Media. It's the beginning of that long-awaited spring break for a lot of people. So hopefully you're all out there enjoying a little bit of time off from school and work and everything else. So, Coach, how's it going?
It's going all right, Ruffin. How
Cool.
are you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right. You got any plans for spring break or if you have spring break right now?
Yeah, well, I'm just, doing a couple college visits with my daughter. She's graduating this year. And other than that, nope.
None. Cool.
Pretty much be here at the domicile.
The domicile.
Yeah, doing some yard work and some other stuff.
Yeah, I took advantage of that last week with the rain that we had here.
Oh man, yeah.
I took a full day off, and I'm going to be doing the same things as you're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks or days, preparing for school. Except I'm on the other end. I'm, got Kendall has one last major hurdle to overcome, and we're going to help her out this upcoming week, and
there you go.
And then on to graduation.
Awesome.
So that's going to be cool. So go West Virginia.
Yeah, you say Mountaineers. Huh?
Yeah, Mountaineers. Let's get right into it.
Right.
So let's talk about. First of all, we're going to be talking about the fact that this is the end of the hardcore, what they call the Sunshine double between Indian Wells and Miami Open.
Right,
but let's talk about this week's tournaments, or at least to acknowledge them. So we're beginning the clay court season right now. So on the women's side, we've got down in Charleston, we've got the Credit One Charleston Open, where the defending champion is Belinda Bencic from Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
She had a really good year last year, and Charleston kind of set that off last year.
Mm-hmm.
Also in Bogota, Colombia. Yeah, good surface for her. Also in Bogota, Colombia, you've got the Copa Colasanitas. I probably mispronounced that, where the defending champion was Tajana Maria from Germany.
Okay.
Unfortunately she's not where she was. She's hopefully she'll be able to defend those points from this year, or from last year, this year. On the men's side, we've got 3 tournaments. We've got the U.S. Men's Clay Court Championships out in Houston, Texas, where the defending champion Riley Opelka
won't be
defending this year. He's got a couple of injuries, which is that's really sad. But hopefully he can pull it together and get back out there.
Because he's an injury? Will they protect his points on that?
I think he'll have the opportunity to come back with protected ranking. In the future, as long as it's not too long.
Yeah,
but,
we'll wish him well. We
definitely wish him well, because he's one of those top American players that we need, especially if we want to do good things in team competition.
Exactly.
Also, we've got the Grand Prix Hassan 2 down in Marrakesh, Morocco. Say that 3 times fast. Where the defending champion is one of those old school players, at least by our standards. David Goffin is the defending champion.
Goffin.
Yeah, from Belgium.
Yeah, Belgium. Now he hadn't. No, maybe I'm thinking someone else. I was wondering, he has not announced his retirement. I'm thinking of Gilles Simon.
Gilles Simon
kind of remind me of each other.
They have similar games.
Goffin is not French. He's Belgium. But
right, and that's kind of hard to, because both countries can. Well, if you're Belgium, you can speak Belgium and French.
German and French.
German and French.
Well, that's good. He's one of those players, man. He's not going to overpower you.
No, but he's going to get everything back.
And clay is his surface. This is that time where the top players will still know the top players, okay? But it's that supporting cast that might change a little because now the dirt ballers are going to emerge.
They're coming up. So
there'll be players
it's their time to rise.
It's their time to rise. That's right. So we're going to get the supporting cast might change a little bit. Now, the big dogs are still
they're still the
they
big
play
dogs.
well. They do well on all surfaces. That's why they're the top of the pecking order. But it'll be interesting to see who can emerge and maybe have a good day, have a good week.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. It's interesting. I love this time of the year, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love the clay court
changing
season.
from hard courts to clay courts is always good. And then the transition from clay to grass for the short 2-3 weeks that we have before Wimbledon, and then back to clay and then hard.
Exactly.
But,
exactly.
So, but again, we got one more main tournament going on the ATP side. You've got the Millennium Estoril Open down in Estoril, Portugal, where the defending champion is a small guy. Got to root for the small guy. Sebastian Baez of Argentina.
Okay.
But that's what's going on this week. But let's jump right into it. For our main topic, let's just do a wrap up of the Sunshine Double, where we got to see some of the greatest players play in America, first in Indian Wells, then in Miami.
Yeah.
And just, we were just relishing the great players. I think we started off with Novak trying to get entry into the country. But the United States said, nope, not yet. They're going to drop the COVID restrictions soon, but not at this time. Right. So he wasn't able to play the Sunshine Doubles.
But he'll probably play it. He'll be the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he'll probably play at least one warm up. Yeah, probably. Maybe he'll come to the City Open in D.C. Yeah, Nadal. If he's,
that would be great. Oh my gosh,
Nadal said he's coming back, so that'll be great.
Yeah, huge.
But again, we weren't able to see him, but we still got to see a lot of exciting tennis.
Oh yeah, we saw some good.
So I'm going to leave it up to you, Coach. Which side do you want? You want to talk about the men's or the women's side for just the past champions?
Okay, well, I'll go with the WTA.
Okay,
we'll go back with the the ladies out there. And,
okay.
So our hats off to our champion in Miami, Petra Kvitova. Awesome, man. She just played steady. There was the Petra that we remember.
You're right.
And so our hats off to her. She played a great tournament, did what she does best. Right. She had a couple pushback moments, but then she held it through in that final. She played really, really well.
Like you said, using her tools, her strength, her power, and that big forehand.
Yeah, big forehand. And she sets everything up so well. She's another one of those very heady players. Right. And so it's good to see her back on the winners bracket. The tournament overall, I think you had some surprises, but not anything major, I don't think, out of there. I really one player of note that had was the Canadian player Monica Andreescu, who was we wish her well. She had she was playing Alexandrova in a match and lost a tough first set, I think 7-6. And she was leading in the second set, playing very well. I think she was up a break 2-0 or something like that. And then she had a really nasty ankle. Yeah, and I think you were telling me that she tore tendons and stuff.
She tore the ligaments in that left ankle. Okay, so she's not sure how quickly she's going to be able to recover from this. She's hoping for the best already. So.
Yeah. But it was a tough break for her. She's had some really tough breaks with the injuries that kept her out. And after hitting the scene as a teenager, teen phenom, winning that U.S. Open and beating Serena out there and, taking out her idol. And she, people in Canada with good reason she was a bright light that has kind of, the injuries are just kind of taking her out a little bit. And so, just coming back. So I really feel bad for her because she's one of those good, nice players. She's just always smiling, always nice, well liked amongst a lot of players and women on the WTA tour. And so it's sad to see this happen to somebody like that. You don't want to see it happen to any athlete, but especially somebody who is, it's good for the game. She has that. And so we wish her all the best. Hope she comes back and gets healthy and we can see her again, hopefully toward the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, she definitely brings the attitude that tennis is so sorely needed from the players. Personality is what tennis is missing, and she has it on the women's side. And uh, again, like you said, she's very good for the game.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things. But we hope, like I said, we hope to see her come back.
Right.
And we got in the I don't know. Kvitova, she made it through out of the 16. She took, I mean, not, in round of 16. Uh, she played Grachikova. No,
Krejcikova.
Grachiva.
Garrett.
Grachiva, which was a tough match. It was a 7-5, 7-6 match that her guile and her experience got her through. And then getting into the quarterfinals, I mean, that Alexandrova, man, that was, that one, she had won the first set and then lost the second set. And I mean, Alexandrova played really strong.
Yeah.
But then she held it down to win that third set 6-3. So she earned this one in a lot of ways, and got to that finals, got to the semis and then into the finals. So yeah, like I said, once again, hats off to her. Well done. Well done.
Absolutely. She actually stopped the Elena Rybakina Express from winning the Sunshine Doubles Open. Doubles Open. The Sunshine Double between Indian Wells and Miami, and that's not an easy task to do because again, 2 back-to-back Masters 1000s tournaments on different coasts. So big time difference.
Well,
and the fact that she's the second oldest champion, she's a 33-year-old lefty, only one player better, and not much better than this one player. Serena was an older champion, winning at 33 in a couple weeks.
And also, too, if you remember a few years ago, Kvitova was involved in a accident. Well, it wasn't even an accident.
It was an attack.
Yeah, she was attacked and a person stabbed her with a knife in her playing hand.
Right.
Did some serious damage. She
damage
almost,
to her.
she is, at some point there was question whether she would be able to return to the game.
Right.
And it's just severe. And so that in and of itself is a major achievement. That just tells you what type of person she is. And she's going to come back, work hard, do everything she can, and come back and be able to play at this level with that type of injury. So that's something else of note. So she's the type of player you want to cheer on, because she's emblematic of that spirit.
Right.
This is what I do. I enjoy this, and I'm going to fight to continue doing this even when the odds are against me.
Yeah. And again, you got, like you said, you got to tip your hat to her perseverance. The fact that she was surgery away from never playing the sport again, because the damage was extensive from that attack. It was a home attack, and I think she cut ligaments or tendons in her hand.
Yeah.
She,
in her playing hand.
In her playing hand, of all things.
Like,
and the fact that not only was it a question whether or not she was ever going to play again, she had issues with, being able to hold stuff in her left hand. Because I want to say the knife that the attacker used went into her left hand and went through the skin and obviously cut tendons.
And it's, for a tennis player, it's
everything.
Especially at that level, because the ability to feel and make adjustments that you need to, and the grip, and that's essential. And so, and then getting there, taking out Kostya, in the semis, once again, 2 tough sets, service break here. I think it was 7-5, 6-4.
Right.
And that was tough, but once again, but getting into that finals against your girl Rybakina, it was a tough first set, and I think she was down in that first set.
She was,
and then came back to win that 7-6, and then
she was actually down in the tiebreak too.
Exactly,
right.
exactly, and but then never looked back, because I think it was like 6-2 in the finals, and she was just blazing,
rolling at that point.
Yeah, so and playing probably the hottest player on the tour. One of the hottest players on tour, in Rybakina. And so, like again, hats off to that champion for the WTA.
Yeah.
Got her 1,000 points, and she earned them.
Yeah.
And anything else that stands out outside of congratulating her, I would say, also on the doubles side, let's congratulate our doubles champions, USA.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, you knew you were going to have a doubles women's champion.
At least one American. That's right. Yeah, because Taylor Townsend and Lady Fernandez from Canada teamed up.
Yeah.
And it was an enjoyable match to watch. But I think the experience and and of golf and Pegula, I think, just stood out. There were some great points. That first set was really good. It was tight. And I think the experience of them playing together shows through.
Yeah, because I believe this was their 5th tournament win together in the second one this year. Second was Doha a Masters 1000 level? Was it a WTA 1000 level tournament? Because that's the one they won earlier.
Earlier, I'm not sure. But yeah, that was. But yeah, they're developing into quite a strong doubles team. Looking forward to seeing what they do this year. I'm sure they're going to be playing together again and see how they do in the Grand Slams and next couple tournaments.
Fun fact though, that was the first American duo to actually win Miami Open in the last 30 years.
Wow.
It was,
wow.
Not since before it was, oh gosh. I had it, but I can't remember.
Okay.
That's one of those.
That's the first time two pairs of Americans.
Two pair of Americans that have actually won the Miami Open since 1991.
Venus and Serena, they don't have it? Wow.
No.
Okay.
Even though that's that's a tournament in their backyard.
Yeah, their backyard also is.
No, they never, I don't think they ever played it, or certainly they didn't win it.
Okay.
Because if they were playing it, they would have won it more than likely.
Yeah. One other note, just we talked earlier before we started our podcast, but Coco Gauff, and it was a disappointment, and I could see that she was disappointed. She's playing in her home. In her backyard, basically, in her backyard.
Because she's from Braden.
Yeah. And I think the expectations was that she was going to do well, but she didn't. It was a tough day at the office for her. And I think, once again, everyone, we talked earlier that a lot of the speculation now is they're talking about her forehand, because she uses that extreme Western grip, and a lot of she doesn't have the versatility on that forehand, and that forehand was attacked.
Yeah.
Attacked a lot, and so I still feel that her best tennis is yet to come.
Sure.
At this age, and I cannot, just for the life of me, I can't think that this is going to be something. I think they're going to go back. They're going to work something out. She's going to have to go in and make some adjustments. I think she will. Yeah. She's got a strong team behind her. And we'll see. But this was disappointing. I think she really wanted, maybe not to win. I think definitely wants to win. She wants to win every match she plays, but I think she wanted to make a stronger showing than she did in this one in front of the home crowd, everybody cheering for you. And but we'll see. I like I said, I still feel her best tennis is in front of her. I think she'll make the adjustments she needs to make sure this doesn't happen. She's a fighter out there, and so. But that was a tough loss, and looking for her to turn around because she's going to come to her favorite surface too. Yeah. And she was, she does well on clay.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
We forget that she's gotten to the finals of a Grand Slam.
On clay. That's right. So I don't expecting her to do well also at this surface. So, and that's it on the women's side as far as, from another Miami Open.
Yeah.
And,
gonna have to try to get back down there.
Got to get down there. Let's look about trying to get there next. Definitely next spring.
Within the next few years, if not next year.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
And, when it was in Key Biscayne, when we've been been, that was such an awesome place. It's a little different than where it is in at Hard Rock right now,
right?
Because that's just a little bit south of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
So the conditions are a little bit different. Not as windy like it is in Key Biscayne. Not on the water.
Too, so
it's in the stadium, so the stadium kind of prevents a lot of the really horrific winds that you would get
from Florida coming off
from
the
the
coast.
From the coast. But still marvelous event. They've got because it's played really at a football stadium. They do some interesting things for the players to let them relax in between matches.
Awesome.
So that's got to be one of those things that you look forward to. Just like Indian Wells has its charm, so does Miami. So
well, I'm looking forward to it. I've not been there since the last time I was there. It was on the Key Biscayne Island, and so I'm looking forward to seeing it again. It's at the new Hard Rock. Prefab tennis, which is amazing how they do that.
How quickly they can put it up and put it down.
Yep, take it down. Because they do the same thing in Atlanta. In Atlanta Open.
So, okay, let's talk about some of the men's. I guess I'm going to take the men's side.
Right.
So let's give a toast to Danny Medvedev, our singles champion. He took out, and this is an interesting fact. I did not know this, but he had never lost to Jannik Sinner. Now, he took out Jannik Sinner in 2 sets, 7-5, 6-3. That score does not belie just how well of the match that was. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was watching the NCAA's in the women's. Tip your hat off to LSU.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But I can tell by the score that match was really, some of the highlights that I saw, maybe not quite the excitement that you would have seen in the semifinals between Alcaraz and Sinner, but that still was a really, really good match. Yeah. And we got to tip our hats off to Medvedev because that's his first Miami win.
Yep.
I want to say it's number 2 or number 3 of his, because I know he's won Cincinnati. So it's got to be at least his 3rd Masters 1000 levels tournament. But yeah, that was interesting to see that he had never lost to Sinner.
Never lost to Sinner, and I think Sinner, he started cramping up.
Yeah, again, that's because that's the effect of trying to take out the number 1 player,
and also having had to deal with Alcaraz.
Right.
Match before.
Like I said.
I think Alcaraz will wear you out.
Yeah.
That's one player you don't want to have to play before playing someone like Medvedev.
Absolutely.
And Sinner, he played very well this week. He played very well the last 2 weeks, over the fortnight. And, I mean, this kid, his future is bright.
We saw the future of tennis, and it is good.
Yeah,
between Alcaraz, between Jannik Sinner, the way they've played, as John Isner, who lost in the first round, said, tennis is in good hands.
Good hands. Good hands.
Tennis is definitely in good hands. And if you saw some of those amazing first set points, there was one that got a lot of play on ESPN where it had to be a 20-ball rally, and each player was sliding on the hard court.
I'm still trying to figure out how they do that. I'm still trying to figure out how you
strength and flexibility.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
They're taking that sliding that we saw from Novak to another level. So, but yeah, both players were out there hitting balls, and that match that Sinner finally overcame Alcaraz. He looked like he was getting stronger as Alcaraz. Now I'm not going to say faded, but he cramped up too. He cramped a little bit.
He cramped up. He was because I think he received some assistance.
Some assistance.
Got that salt tablet or whatever it is they give him.
Right.
But the way he plays the game. I mean, and then on a hard surface, he just goes all out on everything. It's amazing. But
and like you said, like we've said before, he's out there having fun regardless. He's out there competing and loving every minute of it. Yep. That's a reference to Get Smart. But anyway, you can see it on his face. You can see it in his play.
Yeah.
And it's just going to make the game so much better going forward. And like I said, once Roger's already gone, Nadal's probably on his way out this year. Novak's not too far behind, even though he says that he wants to play another 2-3 years, and I believe he can.
He can.
Once this era of the big 3 leaves us, we will
got some young players coming up. We
will be seeing some really, really good players over the next couple of years, and it's going to be exciting.
Oh,
it really is.
And let me just tip my hat. We to point out one player, Chris Eubanks. Big
yes.
Bank.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We forgot about him. Congratulations. Getting into the top 100.
Top 100.
Man.
This is, once again, if you all are not familiar, Chris Eubanks is a young player. He played collegiate tennis at
Georgia Tech. Yep.
And has been fighting and battling to get his ranking up
Journeyman
into the 100.
tennis player.
Yeah, and so now with this tournament, he got to the round. What round did he?
Lost in the quarters.
Quarters.
Yeah.
So this was huge for him.
Yeah.
And so now he doesn't have to qualify for tournaments. He's in the, if you get in within the top, if you're within the top 100, you don't have to qualify for
at least the majors.
For at least the majors, the 1,000s. Then make tournaments he's out of. He can, but he has easier access to, and it's also going to extend his career.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, I've listened to him, watched him play, and he is probably
he's entertaining.
He is entertaining, and he is very engaging. And this young man, I feel like he's what the tennis is all about.
Yeah.
And just when it was just really good when he won his match and realized that he knew he had made it.
He knew the significance of getting to that win.
Yeah, and it was great. It's great to see a young player, and hopefully it's will change his trajectory, and that we'll be able to see more of him.
Right.
And let me tell you, folks, I'm looking forward to seeing him at Wimbledon.
He's got some skills. He's got some skills. He's got the big serve because he's 6'7", big forehand. He's got a little bit of versatility on the backhand side. He can make some noise.
I'm so looking forward to seeing him. A couple of upsets, he kind of reminds me, he reminds me of Dustin Brown a little bit. Yeah. Just because of the physicality and goes all out, big serve, cranks it up forehand. So, definitely looking forward to seeing him. I'm not sure what he's going to do on the clay. Right. We'll see, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him at Wimbledon.
Yeah, the fast surfaces definitely will serve his game.
Yeah, get him in there.
Like I said, that big serve, that big forehand, that's the 1-2 punch combination.
That's right.
Just as John Isner.
Yep.
He's used that to
kept his career alive
for a long time. We're not trying to push John out the door, but still, he's a really, really good player.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I forgot to mention Chris Eubanks. But on the double side, so I'd like to talk about the double side just because doubles, you and I, we're kind of doubles experts at our level. But we want to shout out to Santiago Gonzalez and Eduardo Vaslin, who won. They defeated Austin Krajicek and this guy who you guys might remember, Nicolas Mahut. So Nicolas Mahut, that Frenchman who played, since we've been mentioning John Isner, in the longest match ever recorded.
Yeah.
It was at Wimbledon, 2010, 70-68. Not match games throughout the entire match. In the fifth set.
Yeah.
The match lasted 11 hours and 5 minutes. Or 11 hours and 3 minutes. But either way, 11 hours, played over 3 days. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
In fact, the fifth set alone lasted 8 hours.
But you got to remember now, there weren't a lot of long rallies.
No, not at all. Serve and volley.
Service winner, ace. It was because both of them hit a big serve and they were just cracking it on each other.
And not the best of returns.
No,
unfortunately.
No, there wasn't. That was the thing. They were going to hold their serve, but they weren't going to break any serve.
Yeah, you're right.
But I just remember at the end, they're standing up there and they wanted to commemorate the moment.
Everything.
They're just worn out. They're sitting there like, okay, can we get on with this?
Right.
I just want to get my treatment.
What's so funny, that was a first round match.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And if you play 11 hours in the first match, your odds of making it to the finals aren't looking too good.
Well, let's see what happened to Isner.
Isner in the second round.
It was a tantric victory because it cost him. Because the next round he was done.
He was done. Yeah.
And Nicolas Mahut.
Yeah, we forget about him. But again, it's good to see this 41-year-old still out there. I had kind of forgotten that he was actually on tour, still digging it.
Yeah,
so that we tip our hats off to the old guys, Krychek and Mahu, who pulled out another victory in doubles. So that's great. So were there any surprises that you saw at the Miami Open? Any, we kind of mentioned two. Andreescu was doing well. Chris Eubanks doing well on the men's side from the Americans. Any other, surprises or things you wanted to comment about?
Not really. We had a lot of American men in this thing.
Yes,
Tommy Paul played well.
Right,
We're seeing the emergence of Ben Shelton.
Yep.
I think he's going to be a force. And also we had, and Taylor Fritz is still going to be a dominant player. And it's just going to be a collection of Americans that are coming in there. And I think, we will be seeing them. And this is a good way for them to measure where they're at. And now that it changes now, everything goes to clay. We'll be on the soft stuff. So we'll see who can pull out through there. I think of all the Americans, I think Taylor Fritz is still the top American, but on clay, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to look to see how Tommy Paul does. I feel like he really has a game that could do well on clay, and with his athleticism and his ability to move around that court.
Marcus Giron, if you ask me, because he's just as athletic, and he stays out there.
Yep, stays out there, and also JJ Wolf.
Yep. Big forehand, big serve.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see these American players emerge on the clay. Now we're knowing the expectations are not going to really be high, and that's really not a bad thing. Go out there and you can just play.
And you can sneak up on them,
right? You can sneak up on them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing them during the clay court season and in Europe as a battle on the dirt. Yeah, battle on the dirt.
Yeah. Well, again, you're right. I got to agree. There weren't a whole lot of surprises. This was pretty straightforward. And again, the Sunshine Double, why it's a big thing is because it's a grueling 3 weeks, because it's a week. Each tournament is a week and a half. Again, on the West Coast where conditions are dry and arid, and on the East Coast where conditions are windy and humid. So very different kind of tennis that you have to play, and depending on who your opponent is, what draw you get, what style of play, and what condition you're in, it's a rough 2 tournaments. So that's why it's such a big honor to be in them. And Rybakina, she was just 2 sets away, unfortunately. 2 sets away from accomplishing that. So,
but it's hard to do.
It is really hard to do.
I think there's only been like four women players who've ever done it, and so she's in good company. She won one. She got to the finals with another. Hey,
you can't. And I'm sure the paychecks are not bad.
The paychecks ain't bad. I'm telling you, and that's I think for this little show here, the American players that move on, and that I think the confidence that they gain, I would like also just to see, you got to the second week, you got to that, then it should build your confidence because you're playing against the best of the best. This is a 1,000 event. So this is really the measuring point of where you're at, how your season's going to go. And if you have that confidence pushing you forward into the beginning of the tennis season, hey, this is a good little pep up for you, and want to see them keep on rolling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So anything going on in today's tennis? This day in tennis?
Yeah. Well, one thing, I don't have a this day in tennis, but I also want to give a shout out to Bob Bryan, who's been selected as the new Davis Cup captain.
Davis Cup captain.
Yeah. So we're looking forward for his
leadership.
I'm telling you,
that'll be interesting.
He and his brother, they were stalwarts on that Davis Cup team.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you could count on that as a win.
They could count on that win for a period of time. They were just, and they pulled us out of a whole lot of how many rubbers did we win because they pulled out that doubles. And so with that experience that he's had, and he's he's hyped about being, because they took that Davis Cup seriously, representing the country, and so he's a perfect one, I think, for the pick. When I heard he made, I was like, good.
Yeah, I think Bob actually played a couple singles matches when the rubbers were dead.
Yes, that's right. He sure did. Yeah. So and I think he got a couple wins.
Yeah, got a couple wins.
He's not known for his singles, but he can play.
Yeah,
he can play.
He's a tour level player.
He can play. And so that's hats off to him, and good luck leading this team. He's got some good players to pick.
He's gonna have his pick. He's gonna have a lot of players. And if you can represent your country and do well, that does so much.
Oh yeah. And who's he
for your confidence?
That's another thing. That could be who's he going to select?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Okay, that's not a bad.
I would say Fritz definitely.
Right.
Tiafo definitely. Then we're looking at probably Tommy Paul. Right. And then after that, okay.
You got your pick. You got some players. You got my boy Sebastian Porter. You still got like you said. We've got several other players. Nakamichi is
Brandon Nakashima.
It's Nakamichi. Good.
Yep, Brandon Nakashima.
I'm thinking tape decks here. Brandon Nakashima.
Nakashima.
And a host of other really good players. JJ Wolf, like you said, he's got a good chance.
Ben Shelton. Let's not leave him out.
Yeah.
This could be the future.
And there are a couple of other players that are still out there that
Mackie
McDonald, Riley Opelka, once he comes back, and
your serving volley, your boy.
Oh, you're talking Maxim Cressy. Yes, I forgot.
He'll have some, depending on the surface that they're playing, and and depending on, he'll have a lot of players he can pick. But I'm excited about Team USA, and I think that winning, I think for their participation in the American participation, and even though it was also Canadian participation in winning, finally getting over the hump with the men's Laver Cup.
Oh, the Laver Cup,
that was big for them, and so that's kind of inspired. And I think that whole, so even though that's not just the USA, that's the world group, but now those players that came out of there, the American players did well, and they have that more experience, and so I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward. So we have a little depth now.
Yeah,
not a whole lot, but got a little depth. Well, I mean, that shows well in the team. That kind of format.
It's good that you mentioned that, because like you said, the depth of the men's American squads that Bob Ryans and other coaches that we'll have, because we've got the Olympics coming up pretty soon in 2024.
Yeah. Oh man.
They've got some players to choose from, and we don't always have to use the same old players anymore, which is going to be good. And that means you're not going to tax out those players that feel like the weight of the world, or at least the weight of the country, is on their shoulders, trying to represent the country.
Exactly.
We've been saying this for a while. The women's side in American tennis is set.
They set,
and it's going to be set for quite a while. Whether
because they're young,
they're hungry, and they're good.
Yeah,
but it's not been the same case on the men's side. But now they're the veterans. They're the ones that are coming. And if you look at some of the younger players that are coming up, they may not be household names yet, but they're looking promising as well. Maybe not the next Alcaraz, but somebody who can, on team level, competition wise, can bolster a team to make us pretty dangerous.
Exactly.
And that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just an opportunity, and point them in the right direction.
Let them go.
Right.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do, and also we're looking, keep an eye on these qualifying events to see these young players to get their taste and see how they perform, and they're getting that confidence that they play on these big stages, and I'm with you on that one. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be, who's he going to pick, who's he going to select for that team, and I don't think he's going to have one set team like the old days. I think it's going to be like like an amoeba team. It's going to be, he'll have some players that play, the well here. He can switch and change those parts to put the one players in there.
Plug and play.
Yeah. And that's a good little gift to have, you
Yeah.
know, to be able to have those kind of players, and also too, they all want to play for Team USA,
And that's
which
good.
is
That's
really good.
That's something that we haven't had in a while.
Right.
In fact, I was looking at the Davis Cup groups since we're in the World Group this year, and we're in a favorable group. We're favored with Croatia.
Okay.
And I may be mixing up the Billie Jean King Cup group versus the Davis Cup group, but I thought Austria was in there. But either way, we're going to be both the men's and the women's side for the U.S. teams. In fact, Billie Jean King Cup is going to happen later on in the month of April. We're going to be favored to win that draw, or at least that group, even if we are not the seeded. In fact, on the men's side, we're world rankings wise, we're number 10. So we're just out of the top 4 seeds, or just out of the top 8 seeding.
Right,
so
right.
We're going to be favored. We've got favorable draws. The one that's interesting on the Davis Cup to me is, I believe it's the draw that has Serbia and Spain in the same group.
Boy,
that's going to be a barn burner.
Boy,
you know, figure you got Nadal and Djokovic potentially playing for their countries.
Yeah.
That's always going to be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
And whoever is hosting that particular Davis Cup, they get to choose a surface. So, I mean, between Nadal and Novak, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. They're good. I mean,
they're good on all 3 surfaces.
Djokovic can say, you want to play on clay? Fine.
Right, let's go.
I'll play on clay. Let's do it, you know.
As long as it is best 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
so
if I was Nadal, I'd throw something in there like, let's play on grass, man.
Right. Just to throw them off.
Just throw them off. Let's play on grass. You don't have to play on clay.
But the way Novak returns,
gosh, man, I'm telling you, he's amazing. And like I said, we talked about this before, and I don't even want to belabor the point anymore, but it's still good to see him play.
Yes.
It's good to see him out there.
And we will.
I wish he would not cry about his circumstance, because he created that circumstance, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm glad he's playing. I'm looking forward to seeing him come out there.
Looking forward to seeing
this guy, folks.
The best return ever.
Oh my gosh, he's an amazing talent. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that sounds like we've kind of covered the Sunshine Double.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up for this time.
Yeah.
So as always, fans, continue to hit the like button on our tennis and subscribe to our channel.
Send those comments in too.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna let us know what topics you would like to have us discuss or talk about, and we have a few things we're gonna be doing.
Going forward,
we're gonna be bringing some of you all into the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to that as well. This is that magic time. For tennis nerds like you and myself, this is like Christmas, man.
Absolutely.
Tennis season's getting ready to get started. We're getting ready. The Grand Slams.
It's warm outside. We can go out there and play. You can go out there
and hit and play and get to go home and watch great tennis. And that's what I try to. And you also do the same thing. We try to tell young players, man, you to really get good at this, I tell the kids, and I'm sure you got to breathe this stuff, man. You got to eat it, breathe it, think it, watch it, follow it. And you have so many opportunities to do that now that we didn't have.
Right.
When we were coming up, juniors, if you wanted to see tennis, it was on a tape delay. You remember when Wimbledon was on a tape delay?
You never saw it live.
You couldn't see it live. So I didn't want to see a newspaper, because at that time, newspaper would tell you. So I would have to wait until I could see it, see NBC show me Wimbledon.
I know.
So I could find out what happened earlier that morning, that
tape
day.
Delayed.
That tape delay. And so now you get to see live tennis. You get to see several things. I mean, I love the fact that they're showing qualifying matches, qualifiers. We never saw qualifiers before.
Of course.
Or we get to see all of the Grand Slams in their entirety. Before we remember when you see Wimbledon, we'd only see like a half an hour on
at the end of the day.
They would show you highlights of clips. In the French Open,
we never saw
that.
Or for that matter, Australian Open, we never saw anything.
I remember the first time I saw a French Open, when that was on tape delay. I remember watching, and I'm dating myself, when I saw Eddie Dibbs play Harold Solomon
way back. And he did versus Errol Solomon.
Bud Collins was calling the match.
He probably still had a fro back then.
Oh my gosh. But I mean, it was just amazing. I'd seen pictures, but I never saw a lot of color pictures.
Right.
And to see that red clay and to see them playing and the clay on the socks and I never saw red clay. We only saw Hartrue maybe, but we never saw the Terabatu.
Right.
And for me, it was just like, this must be a magical place, that they play tennis like this on that clay. And so we've come a long way, baby.
Yes, we have. We have. To quote the Virginia Slims.
That's right. We've come a long way.
We have definitely come a long way.
And also, now that we know that I'm an ancient dinosaur from it. But it's just seeing how the game has changed. It's a beautiful thing, man. And the growth of the sport, even though there's a lot of where tennis is at. I think tennis is in a great place. I
think so.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future, man.
Same here.
Waiting,
yeah. So again, like I said, continue to follow us. Again, hit us up on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. Or if you have any comments that you want to just send us directly, you can always hit us at which side do you want or wsdywtennis@gmail.com. So, my friend, it's been an exciting time. As we always say, go hit a tennis ball.
Hit a tennis ball.